What's up guys, this is Astranox. In this video I have the last two boss fights in episode number 3. So I have Command Model Laika and then there is Belian. So these two battles I just autoed them, right? There is 2 waves of trash monsters that you have to defeat first. Easy peasy. Now on to the boss because it would take too long to just have both like full battles including the the waves before. So this boss, the way it works is that, yeah, she's pretty dangerous. She's pretty annoying. She's Earth, so I brought a fire team in there. And by autoing this, of course, it's not good. Like, the boss is actually harder because as soon as you have a debuff on this boss, what happens is that every attack that you do to this boss, every single attack that you do to this boss, or any attack, right? It will be a counter attack from her, and that counter attack hits 2 of your heroes, and she can land bleed from those counter attacks. So in this video, this is not like a free-to-play guide, right? Like, this is not like 3-star heroes. I want to do that later. I wanted to get both bosses down so I can move on to powered up Mercedes and get the Season 2 Selective Summon. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited about that. Trying to get a hero out of that. So, in this boss fight, other things that are really annoying. So, if you debuff the boss, expect counterattacks if you keep on attacking her. So, let's say you bring a team that doesn't have any debuff, and then you could auto this boss. Well, it would be easier, right? Because she wouldn't be doing all these counterattacks, which are pretty dangerous. So that's a lot of damage you could avoid. But things that you have to worry about in the fight is that you got 2 drones in the back. I mean, it's like 1 and then it's 2. And those drones, they can detonate. And like, they detonate and then they deal a ton of damage, like they just did to my mascot Hazel not long ago. And then it stuns the hero. So if that thing lands on Soul Weaver, right? Like, I'm running double Soul Weaver, so if one is crippled, I got the other one. So thankfully, got the heal here for the team. Akatis is very powerful because she's fire. You know, she is able to remove all debuffs and do a big heal based on her maximum health. So those drones, detonation, big damage, problematic. So you could take them out before they detonate. Now, if you keep on doing AoE attack in this fight, the boss with a debuff on her will just keep on counter-attacking. And single target damage, of course, will take this boss down faster. So, yeah, spamming AoE doesn't seem like a good choice here. Now, you can see, like, detonation happening from the drone, and it really hurts. Now, the dog in front, this dog is annoying because he's able to steal one of your buff, and that buff will be granted to their whole team. Like, that's really bad. And there's some dual attacks at play which boost the damage dealt to your team further on top of the boss. Like, if you get this boss to keep on counter-attacking and it's hitting 2 of your allies, plus you got the ads to worry about, plus the drones that will detonate on your heroes. Like, it's a lot of stuff to worry about. It's a lot of damage. So what you could do is cripple the ads and work on the boss. Like, if you don't have much gear, you could manual this and simplify things. Like, your main damage dealer or damage dealers could be working on the boss. Like, it could be like a Commander Lorena. She doesn't have any debuff, right? So that's a great hero for this boss, I think. And for the ads, if you could, like, do something about this dog, like, if you can cripple him somehow, if you take him down, because I was trying a strategy before and it's to focus on him, like, have the battle on auto but focus attack on him. You can just press on whichever target you want for your team to focus on. So when this dog goes down, he doesn't actually die, but he goes into like a sleep mode, or he's like stunned. He cannot do anything. So you bring his health to 1, and then he is stunned and he's not acting anymore. So he's incapacitated. Actually, that's the name of the debuff, I believe. So if you work on this dog and you incapacitate him, you don't have to worry about him buff stealing you and triggering dual attack. That's really deadly. So that's one thing. And then, like I said, command model Laika having a debuff on her and attacking her constantly is not a bright idea. If you're going to be manualing this, the way to go would be your damage dealer or dealers are attacking Laika, and your supports are working on crippling those ads. So if you do it like that, it's going to help a lot. You can see the boss has greater attack buff. I believe the dog just stole the greater attack buff of my team. So, actually, the dog buffs Laika as well. I'm not sure if the greater attack buff came from that, but that's really deadly. Greater attack buff is 75% attack increase. So if you can remove the buffs off of the boss as well, that would be a huge deal. If you can apply attack break on this boss, that would be a big deal. My attack breaks have not been so consistent, so that's an issue. And I believe the dog's able to, or is it the drone? One of them is able to remove debuffs from the boss. Like it's really chaotic. Like a lot of stuff is happening, and I hope these tips help you guys with defeating this command model Laika boss at 10-9. Now for 10-10. Now it's a different team, right? You see, you need a dark hero in there to complete the stage 3-star. And I decided to bring the Zerjo Bazaar because I didn't want to put gear on Angelica. You could have Ray instead of him. Let's say you're looking for a cleanser that applies immunity on your team, because immunity is actually a really, really powerful thing that you can have at your disposal during this boss fight. Because this boss keep on using that laser beam, and that thing is annoying, man. And this boss will be dropping bombs on you. That boss is stunning the hero with the lowest speed on your team, which I made my tank the lowest speed, so my tank gets stunned. So at least my other two Soul Weavers can keep the team alive, and my damage dealer Charlotte can just keep on doing her thing and attack everyone. So Charlotte is good here. You could be using Seaside Bellona, but if you're gonna be using a team, a damage dealer, and you're gonna run this on auto, you wanna run this on semi-auto if you're struggling, because when you hit the boss with a single target attack, Belian boosts the combat shootedness of a random ally by 50%. So if you keep on running auto and you got your Soul Weavers, you got your tank, I mean, if my whole team, because I'm running this on auto, it's happening, right? That's what's happening, but I'm able to deal with these ads fast enough, so she's not going to be pushing combat shootedness of ads because I'm dealing with them fast. But you might be in a different situation. If you want to auto this with like a Seaside Bellona, right, you should be focusing your attacks on an ad. So you turn auto, you press on one of the ad, and you keep doing that on each of the 3 ads until they're all down. There's 2 phases like that, 2 ad phases right there. There's another 3 ads. So you deal with these 2 phases, and Belian goes into another phase. It's her by herself. She's got a barrier. She's annoying. There's bombs at play. There's this constant stunning, and there's a point, like the 4th phase, the beta. She goes into a beta phase or whatever, and then she detonates the bombs on your team. So if you don't have immunity, if you're not cleansing constantly, you will blow up, and it's gonna be bad because you're gonna wipe. So there's that to worry about. So yeah. Now in this phase here, I'm just trying to deal with the ads. I mean, it's on auto. I'm not manualing anything. So it just goes to show you that if you play by the mechanics, you don't need that much gear. You don't need the gear that I have. I show my gear, my stats at the end of the video, by the way, if you're curious about that. So this boss is really annoying because she keeps on putting skill nullifier on herself. Because that's the way it works. And every time you land a single target attack on her, she pushed the combat shootedness of a random ally. And if you put any debuff on her, she removes 2 debuffs from herself every time you, you attack her or something like that with a single target attack on top of, it's the same ability that pushes the combat shootedness of a random ally of hers when you hit her with a single target attack. So yeah, focus on those ads from the 2 phases and don't hit her with single target attacks. It's just gonna make things worse for you, right? And don't work on dealing damage to her. You have to worry about these ads. So thankfully with auto, right, I got Charlotte that just keeps on doing AoE as long as she has a buff on herself. So it works great. I have Daydream Joker artifact on her so I can deal damage based on the target's max health. And Belian has a ton of health. It's something like 220,000, a bit higher than that actually. So if you are able to actually land the Fence Break on her on the 3rd and 4th phase, you will definitely speed things up like massively. So if I decided to bring Seaside Bellone in there, which I didn't do because I don't know, I really like to play with Charlotte, you know, so I decided to go with her. Seaside Bellone is a limited hero, so I just didn't bring her in there. But I mean, it's not a valid excuse. I'm running Moonlight Heroes 5-star. It was just about like using whatever I wanted that felt effective and just doing it. And now I'm just giving you guys tips so you can do this fight efficiently and without like wiping a bunch of times and losing and, you know, bashing your head against the wall. So the ads are dealt with, and that's good because, I mean, that's one thing that you have to not worry about now. But it's still really hard because you will see what's going to be happening. I mean, not really, because I have immunity. It's something like I should have shown you guys how it was when I didn't have immunity. It was really troublesome because she just loads you with those bombs, keeps on stunning the lowest speed hero on your team, and you definitely don't want that to be someone else than your knight, let's say your tank. You don't want that to be a Soul Weaver, because if that Soul Weaver is constantly stunned, well, you're going to be having problems because there's other debuffs, and like you can't rely on a Wondrous Potion Vial or a simple one glance from a skill 1 attack of a Soul Weaver, something like that. Like having immunity and team-wide clans is a big deal. So of course, I feel like the Zerjo Bazaar and a hero like Ray, which are able to cleanse all debuffs, you know, heal up at the same time, apply immunity, all that stuff, it's going to be a big deal. Now, Angelica would definitely work beautifully here. If you keep on soul burning her skill number 3, she will apply immunity for 4 turns, I believe. So it's going to be permanent. It's a permanent immunity on your team. You can just cycle that thing, and it's going to be great. It will provide you so much protection. And Prophetic Candlestick 3-star artifact is definitely a very powerful one to have on your team on Soul Weavers. I mean, you could even have that on other heroes to lower their cooldowns, because that beam that she's doing, Light of Destruction or whatever it's called, that hits everyone, I mean, that's a chance to trigger your Prophetic Candlestick. When that thing is maxed out, it's a 40% chance to lower your cooldowns, all your cooldowns by 1 turn. Skill 2, skill 3, which is great. So I use it on DJ Bazaar, the Zerjo Bazaar, because I want him to have a high uptime on the immunity, because it's that important. But I could have ran Angelica, but Angelica, you need to soul burn her S3, so you can't do that on auto, and I just wanted to auto this boss. You can do Ray, I believe Ray, when you soul burn his skill 3, it's 10 souls and it will boost the amount of heal it does. But with Prophetic Candlestick, you'll have a very high uptime on the immunity on your team, making your hero like Ray, the Zerjo Bazaar fast. You're going to be able to definitely have closer to 100% uptime on it. So Angelic Montmorency is also a hero you can definitely bring along. Now, you soul burn her skill 3, it gives immunity for your whole team for 2 turns. It also cleanses 2 debuffs, you know, big heal as well. It's great, but you do have to manual for that. So save your souls for that. Also the Guardian, saving your souls and blowing the boss up near the end. When she's reaching that phase 4, you want to make things happen. You're going to be soul burning maybe your heroes like Soul Weaver to continue applying immunity. Maybe you want to do that extra bit of burst damage with your damage dealer. You know, there's all kinds of ways to use your souls, but popping a Guardian like Arky, you know, that is, you know, any of the Guardian is dealing damage based on the target's max health. Very powerful stuff, especially like in here, in the Abyss, and all type of places where the boss has a lot of health and you're in the struggles and you're manualing. Saving your souls for the end when it's really, really dangerous is definitely a good strategy. So you can see that actually landing debuffs on her is not something you can do. Does she... I don't even remember having debuffs on her when she's like phase 3 and 4. I think that barrier that she has, it's also a buff that makes it so you cannot remove it, and she cannot be debuffed, is it? Because I don't remember seeing debuffs on her. Now, the thing is, my team cannot really land debuffs. There's only Charlotte that can land attack break on her skill number 1 and on heal ball on skill number 3. Beta test has ended. Next stage, has started, whatever. That's her animation. Look at that. She crazy. She crazy. And this move right there will detonate the bombs on you. And it will destroy your team if you have a bunch of bombs. And the problem with her landing bombs is that they start to detonate one by one, right? The last 2 turns, but that cycle keeps on going. One's like 1 turn, you got a bunch more that last 2 turns on you, and then like it blows up the first one, and then the other ones keep on, like you're permanently stunned, so you need to run like a double soul weaver that can cleanse or something like that if you don't have immunity on your team, and time it. You want to time the cleanse before she does that move, before she goes into that beta test phase, because the detonation of bombs will penetrate 70% of your defense, it scales off of her attack, and it deals a ton of damage. Now you can actually debuff her. I don't know if the phase number 3, you're actually able to debuff the boss, but the 4th phase, when she does the beta test detonation of bombs move, right? That point, look, I have attack break on her, so you could land defense break on her. Maybe I'm wrong and you can actually land it on her, you know, the whole time. It's just that when there's ads, it doesn't work because she keeps on getting skill nullifier and you know, debuffs are removed from her. So it's not the time to deal with her, it's time to deal with the ads. So yeah, she has immunity now. You see, like, it's a really annoying boss to deal with. Really, really annoying. But if you follow what I've been saying, it will definitely make things much easier. And look, she's doing it again. Like, if you didn't have immunity, she'd be planting bombs on your team the whole time. And you got that slowest hero getting stunned the whole time. So make sure that you run a, let's say you don't have Fallen Cecilia, right? You can just be running like Phyllis. Phyllis is a 3-star knight that is dark element, right? You could be bringing her. She scales off of defense. She gives defense buff to your whole team and all that, but she's actually going to get a specialty change soon enough. It was in the teaser for where Belian was in. So yeah, Phyllis, right? This hero, you can have her with high health, like scale her health more than her defense. Have like Aureus on her. She's going to constantly put defense buff on your team and make her the slowest. So she keeps on getting stunned. So you don't have to worry about it anymore. And your other 3 heroes can do what they're supposed to do, right? So I didn't bring like an attack buffer because Charlotte actually gets attack buff. When she gets hit, she gets attack buff and defense buff. So that's a good reason why I brought her and I didn't bring her, bring Seaside Bellona. Because, yeah, that's the thing. Now a hero like that benefit from attacks that keeps on hitting that hero, like a General Purgus, could be pretty cool. If you have immunity and you have General Purgus, yeah, the boss will not be pushing your combat units back because her beam, her light of destruction that hits everyone, actually pushes back your combat units between, I believe, 15 to 50%. 15% up to 50% of your combat units is pushed back. On top of her planting bombs, stunning, and eventually detonating the bombs, it's really bad. Like, that's why immunity is such a big deal. So if you have immunity plus like General Purgus, you can do pretty good. The issue is that's 2 heroes already. You have a hero that's putting immunity, and you have a hero that is, yeah, that is the dark hero. Dark Knight, you got the General Purgus, you got, like, that's one more slot that you're taking. So maybe General Purgus is not that good. Let's say Elena could be pretty decent because her Consecrated Ground would be triggering all the time, every 2 turns, and then she's got the 20% damage reduction from AoE attacks, and then she could put invulnerability on your team and constantly heal every 2 turns with Consecrated Ground. Like, that's a hero that you could definitely use. And then she's got cleansing of 2 debuffs with her skill number 1, one off of 2 different allies. So if you have her on, let's say, on a counter set, or if you have heroes on counter sets, it's gonna help you too if they have a solid skill number 1. So these are like various ways to go about it to deal with this boss. But of course, the theme is that Command Model Laika is about single target damage, and Belian is about dealing damage to everything, because the first 2 phases with the ads, you need to deal AoE attacks. You need to deal AoE damage, damage that hits everyone, because if you hit her with single target damage, it's gonna make big problems. And when you hit actually the boss and the ads with AoE attack that hits everyone, the ads are taking 50% more damage. That's in the skill description, like the way it works in the boss fight. So you're able to take out the ads much faster because you're hitting everything, and there's that mechanic that boosts the damage that is done when you hit everything. And yeah, I mean, that's the way I did proceed. I'll eventually make guides for these battles using, you know, 3-star heroes. I don't know how high the gear level will be, but manualing the battle might be required. And I'll try to lower the gear level. I might actually end up doing that on my 5th account because I'm pushing the story and I'll eventually get there. And right now that account is, you know, very early on, just a few days in. I'm progressing very fast, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about all that in the comments section. If it was helpful to you, you learned something, it's helpful to you to, you know, defeat those bosses, like smash the like button. It really helps me to get the video to be seen by more people. But yeah, I'll get you know, guides on them later on. I don't know what the demand is like for guides like that. I think I did cover a lot of the mechanics that you have to deal with, and it will facilitate your encounters with these bosses. Of course, you might not have these heroes, but there's a lot of different replacement that you can go with. It's like I said about the immunity. You can definitely, there's a lot of heroes that you can use for that. Manualing the battle might be required though for the soul burning. And for Laika, going with fire heroes is going to help you out so you take less damage. And try to take out those drones so they don't detonate on you. And try to control that dog. And Laika, you know, like, don't land a debuff on her and keep on attacking her with heroes that don't actually do damage, because she's going to keep on counter-attacking you. Do damage with your damage dealers, and your supports deal with the ads to control them, keep your team alive, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, my gear is very good on some of these heroes. And that is the enhanced version of Mercedes that you unlock after doing the episode 3:10:10 boss. There's some stuff you need to do to actually unlock her. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil the story. Just wanted to show the boss fights. So yeah. And the summons, I'll do that in a separate video and talk about like good summons depending on your playstyle. So I can help you guys with that, and we'll see what I managed to actually summon. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all ya do. Peace out for now.